So we're live now on Instagram. We should be live now on Facebook. So let's go ahead and let the audience in if you haven't already.
Nothing's popping up yet on my end here. Okay, now we have one.
There we go. All right. So as expected, we are, of course, slowing down, winding down to the end of the year. So we'll continue to just build up the audience. If you guys are on Instagram right now, if you're over on Facebook, I'm going to encourage you to please come join us over on Zoom. All the information is, of course, posted. And I know that we're winding down. There's a large percentage of agents, of course, that are starting to take the time off now that we have Christmas, of course, just next week. So we're going to continue, of course, on the topic on finishing the year strong. We're going to continue to on the topic of that of the database and continuing to put ourselves in a position where we're maximizing this particular source. So I went over a handful of points last week. I want to continue on some points. I know that people are slowly trickling in, agents, of course, being agents. I'm going to give a point or two. I'll open it up to the audience here in just a little bit. So let's go ahead and continue and let's move on. So we did talk about calling our database 4 times a year, and this is something that's really important. We got to understand this. The reason we don't capture that 10% is because we don't take the proper activity. And the activity that we lack, we do everything but the most important one. And this is 80 to 90% of your results. Okay. And I get this all the time from coaching clients. And the one activity of all the things that we do with our database is we got to call them. And if we don't call them, then that everything else that we do is just passive. And then we've talked about in the past how we unfortunately lose business. And we lose business because we don't stay in touch with these people. We'll send them Christmas cards. We'll send them cookie recipes. We'll send them birthday cards. You'll send them a newsletter. You'll put them in social media groups. You do newsletters. You do all of these things, but you don't pick up the phone and call them. And what's very common, especially with this particular source, is that they intend well. And what I mean by they intend well is that they will a lot of times say, you know what, you got to talk to my good friend Robert. He's a good realtor. Okay. You have to talk to, let me give Robert's a business card out to all of these people. And our friends, our family, our past clients are doing this, and they're doing it with great intentions. But we know how this works. Okay. And what I mean by we know how it works is that they're distributing the cards. But are those people calling us? Right. And then there's the, hey, if you need a good realtor, there's, of course, my buddy Robert. Let me know if I can go ahead and give you his number or have him call you. And are they asking for information? No. And we don't even know we're losing this business. This is the part that we find ourselves where we start to get enabled. We start to justify. And what do I mean by that? Well, what are you talking about, Robert? Last year I got 5 deals for my database. Last year I got 10 deals for my database. I get it. I understand. Now let's look at how many people are in your database. How many do you have? Past clients, family, friends, associates, and vendors. You put together the list and you're like, I have 297 people. Cool. Awesome. That's a great amount. How many people or how many deals did you get last year? Well, I got eight. Well, let's do the math. 297 at 10% is 29.7. You should have gotten 29 to 30 or potentially 30 deals from this particular source, and you got eight. Good for you. Awesome. Would you like to get 30 though? And then the next year, what ends up happening? Pretty much the exact same thing. Now your database is 342. Why is it 342 versus 297? Well, because you closed a couple of deals, you added the wives, you met new friends, you worked with some new people, the gym, over at the school, over at all of these different places. But you go from 8 deals to 9 deals. Do you guys understand what I'm talking about? And this is important why we take this step, especially right now. During this particular window, this is the best time to call your database. It's the most forgiving time. And the reason why it's the most forgiving time, because all I'm doing is asking of you to pick up the phone and call these people and just simply say, Joe, hey, it's Robert. How are you doing? Good. Well, hey, I just wanted to reach out to you. The holidays are upon us. And, I was sitting here thinking about you and your family. And I just wanted to take a minute to just say thank you. I just wanted to say thank you guys for being a part of my life. Okay. I also wanted to take a minute to just wish you guys happy holidays. By the way, how was your Thanksgiving? Good, awesome. What are you guys planning on doing next week for Christmas? Oh, you guys are hosting. That's great. How many people are you expecting to come? Wow, that's a big family. You guys are expecting about 20, 30 people? Well, that's good. That's awesome. That's great to hear. I'm really excited about that for you guys. I'm going to wish you guys the best, wishes, of course. Happy holidays, Merry Christmas, Happy Hanukkah, Happy New Year, happy everything. What I wanted to do is I wanted to recommit to you. And the way that I wanted to recommit to you is I wanted to check in with you 3 or 4 times a year, give you some updates as to what's going on with the real estate market. Do I have your permission? Do you guys understand what I'm getting at? But we don't do this activity. What do? We go out there and we get a couple of pies. We drop them off. We put them on these mailer campaigns. We do all of these things except for picking up the phone and calling them. And then you're wondering why next year, after this year, you did 8 deals from your database, you get 9. That's not bad. And then you get the recognition at your office. You were the number 7 agent, out of 242 agents. And you're like, yeah, look at me. But you have the opportunity and the potential to absolutely knock the socks off of your competition. And I'm not talking about the people that are actually in your office. I'm talking about the entire region. And you have that capability, but you don't. So we have to make sure that we take the steps that are necessary. And the most important note that you can take from me in this entire thing is you got to call these people at least 4 times a year. Now, what's going to happen? There's the evolution of that. The evolution of that is, and I'm going to get my off box here because we have enough realtors, that have joined us now. But we're going to start to take the evolution of this. And what's the evolution of this? After we go through a year or two, we're now going to start to create a hierarchy. Okay. You'll see this if you pay attention to some of this top right now. What are they doing? They're doing VIP parties. And what are the VIP parties? They're taking out of the 432 people in their database, they're taking the top 20. And who are the 20 that are showing up? Well, it's the mayor, it's the PTA president, okay? It's the doctor, the president of the association, okay? It's the all of these influencers. And they get all of these people, they put them in a nice room, 20, 30, 40 of them, and then they have a nice little steak and lobster dinner. That person spends 10, 12, $15,000 on that dinner. But what ends up happening with those 20 people? Okay. They're getting business in return. Literally just one deal alone pays the whole thing. But what are you doing? You're taking time off. You're not calling them. Maybe you're working on your Christmas card. Do you guys understand what I'm getting at? So we have to be able to be in a position where we're creating this routine. And as we create this routine, we're going to start to create a hierarchy. And in this hierarchy, I'm not going to go into the depthness of it because it does confuse people sometimes. But you're going to take some people, you're going to make them into a double A list. And these are the creme de la creme. And then you're going to create a second list. And the second list is there's some really, really people in your database. Okay. But they're on your A list. And why aren't they on your double A list? Well, it's that one client that's actually bought 2 homes and has actually sold one of them. Awesome. Kudos. And then you're going to have a B list and you're going to have a C list. We're not going to go into the depthness of that because it starts to open up this huge can of worms. But I want to make sure because I know that the audience, I have people that are just getting started a month ago. And then there's other people that have been in the business for 15, 20 years and they're just not working their database the way that they're supposed to. Let me open it up now to the audience. What questions do you guys have that I can?
Robert, thank you for bringing it up.
Mhm.
But my experience is I have a close, good relationship with the database. It just, I don't know, something that I cannot open my mouth and ask about the script. Just the best bet I can do is keep me in mind. Those are the people who know what I'm doing and actually advocate for me in the community. Can you please identify what is it that holding me back?
So a couple things. One of them is with your audience, okay, your database. You have to be able to set that expectation with them. You have to tell them point blank. And what I want to do is, of course, I want to be your realtor for life. And what I want to do is I want to be able to earn all of your business and all of your referrals. I'm sure you've seen this plenty of times. The best way that you can actually say thank you and express your gratitude is simply by sending me referrals. And I want to earn every single last potential referral that you actually come across. Do I have your permission? Yes, number one. Number two is setting the expectation. What I want to do is I want to check in with you 3 to 4 times a year and give you some updates as to what's going on with the real estate. Real estate. Is that okay with you? Expectation number two. Then number three is you have to be able to create that value. And in the creating of that value, this is where most agents, 98% of agents fall off. They don't know how to. And that's the part of the creating the menu of topics. I gave everybody the homework assignments. We talked about a handful of them. You were supposed to have, not you in specific again, but basically the audience, you were supposed to have put this list together. Right there is with where the agents get lost. That's where, unfortunately, we don't know what to say because all we do is pick up the phone and, hey, it's Robert, your realtor. How are you doing? Great, awesome. Any real estate questions? No? Okay, cool. Well, I'm here if you have any. And that's it. And it's very passive. You have to be able to be in their face and say, Anne, Robert, your realtor, do you have a few minutes for me? I was reaching out to you to let you know that blah, blah, blah. The question to you is, who do you know that needs to know this information? Looking to buy, looking to sell, looking to invest that I should be reaching out to. And in that information, the value, of course, is what's missing. That's the missing ingredient. Just imagine if I gave everybody 15 ingredients to make a dish, everybody's going to have a different dish. Some of them is going to make it a little bit more Asian. Some is going to make it a little bit more Caribbean. Some is going to make it a little bit more Hispanic. And some are going to make it a little bit more of an African type of dish. But they're all going to make different dishes. But what if I left one ingredient out? And the one ingredient was salt. Okay. 95% of all dishes. Okay. Let's just say that there was no other seasonings. Okay. And I forgot to give you salt. No matter how well you prepared that dish, if you forgot to put salt, how well is that dish going to come together? Probably not. Okay. Probably not blend. Okay. So now the salt and with what I'm describing is the topic. The topic is going to be loan programs, interest rates, law changes. How about the new president? That's a great topic. Hey, this is what's going on, with what we're hearing, what we're anticipating. Okay. How about the Federal Rate Reserve? Everybody sits there and says, well, the Fed rate, I heard that they're going to go ahead and reduce the interest rate by 1 point. So that means that the 6.9% that the lender offered me, I should get 5.9%, correct? No, that's not how it works. Okay, that's not how it works. How about the quarterly update? This last 3 months, we had an increase by 3%. On average, a home in our area going for about 800,000. Believe it or not, you've gained $20,000 to $25,000 in value. Okay. How about a yearly update? This is a great one in about 2 weeks from now. And hey, it's Robert, your realtor. Just want to give you a quick little update what's going on with the real estate markets from January 1st of 2024 all the way through December 31st of 2024. Believe it or not, we had an 8% increase. What that basically means is a home in our neighborhood going for about 800,000. In the last year, you gained $60,000 to $70,000. My question to you, who do you know that needs to know this information that is looking to buy, sell, or for that matter, use their equity to invest? So in answering your question in detail, Anne, which is a very, very powerful question, and I need the audience to understand that what Anne is asking, 99% of you have the question. And that's the reason I went into the depthness of it. You have to be able to create that value.
Yeah, I think that missing the ingredient because I always, want to give, but if I don't have anything to give, I reluctant to ask. So now that's what you just jam in is the salt. I need to create. What do you think about the idea of create a YouTube video link and text them and then follow up after that? Is that too much work?
No,
Or
it's
that's
not too much
just
work.
like,
I love that idea. That's a great idea. I think that if anything, it's putting a little bit of the cart before the horse, but I have no problem with it because one of the things that you can do is, let's say, for example, from January 1st all the way through March 30th, your topic is going to be with what I just described. Okay. It's going to be the year to year growth, the yearly update. You put a YouTube video together, you blast it out to everybody, and I'm okay with that. That's taking it to the next level. And then you pick up the phone. It's now January 17th. And hey, this is Robert, your realtor. Just wanted to give you a quick little update. What's going on with the real estate market? Do you have a few minutes for me? Yeah. Hey, what's up, Robert? I got your video, by the way. Exactly. That's the reason I was calling. I just wanted to follow up in regards to that. As I mentioned here in the YouTube video, there was an 8% growth. We have to monetize it, okay? Because nobody knows what 8% means, okay? Very few. And the monetization of that is, as an example, Anne, a home in your neighborhood going for about 500,000, you've gained as much as $40,000 in equity. As an example, in your neighborhood, Anne, a property $1.6 million, you've actually gained about $140,000, $150,000 of equity. That is a lot of money. That's what I mean by monetizing it. Okay. And then now it gives you the opportunity, of course, to talk in detail about that. Okay. Or if you haven't sent it, you can actually use the exact same thing. And hey, it's Robert, your local realtor. Just want to give you a quick little update what's going on with the real estate market. Basically, from January 1st of last year all the way through December 31st, we had a 8% increase in value. As a matter of fact, what I'm going to do is I'm in the process of putting a video together. I'm going to send you more information. Can I get you to do me a favor? Can you share that with your friends and your family and coworkers? I'd love the opportunity, of course, to be of some help. My question to you is, who do you know that needs to know this information right now, though? Okay. Great, great topic. And you're loaded with some great questions. So
thank you. You gave me a lot of juice in creating something of value and then put in the work to do it.
yeah.
Thank you.
But here's what I don't want the audience to do. I don't want you to do the YouTube video, send it out, and don't call them. Because I already know 99% of the realtors is exactly what they're going to do. The most important part is the call. Okay. Other questions. Let me address some other questions. We got 2 days left. We're going to go dark for 2 weeks, by the way. So I forgot to mention that. Okay. So basically, this Thursday will be the last day. Ask away, please. What other questions?
Good morning, Robert. This is Gabby. I have a question for you. What about reconnecting with people in your database? I have a really hard personal year last year, and I wasn't in touch with people. So I want to get back, in touch with my database. Some of the people I'm taking out from lunch, they're really close. I'm taking them from lunch, but later they need a reconnection. Thank you.
There we go. So reconnection, very important. Now, what I don't want you to do, it's up to you, Gabby. I'm not going to sit there and take 297 people to lunch. I might take 3, 4, or 5 people to lunch, but I'm not going to do that for everybody. Instead, what I'm going to do, Gabby, hey, this is Robert. Do you have a minute for me? Yeah, hey, what's up, Robert? I was calling you because I was going through my phone and I noticed that you and I haven't spoken in what, 2 years? The last thing I wanted to do is send you some random text. I was simply checking in to see how are you doing? How are you doing? How's life? What's new? How's the family? How's business? How's work? A little chit chat. Okay. I also wanted to take a minute to recommit to you and get, of course, your permission to see if I can check in with you 3 to 4 times a year. Okay. And give you some updates as to what's going on with the real estate market. Would that be okay with you? By the way, is there any real estate questions I can answer for you now? Now, the most important part is this. Okay. I should have put this in red. Okay. And the reason why this is important is because if you don't do this, it's not going to give you the opportunity to go to that next call. Because in that next call, if you say, I wanted to check in with you 3 or 4 times a year, is it okay with you? You call them again, they're going to go, hey, what's up, Robert? You just called me like a couple months ago. What's happening? Everything okay? Instead, what I get the opportunity to do is I go, Gabby, yeah, no, absolutely. Everything is perfectly fine. I made a commitment to you that I was going to be calling you 3 or 4 times a year. Okay, so thank you so much for giving me your permission, by the way. Let me give you a quick little update what's going on with the real estate market. Okay, I put together a video. My good friend Ann, she had shared with me in regards to some interest rates, blah, blah, blah. And I wanted to share that with you. And then you get to the rest of the script. Okay, which of course is that of this one. Okay. Okay, so there we go. If you guys let me know, send me a DM. Okay, so send me a DM. The other thing is I have plenty of videos, of course, over on YouTube. I'm going to encourage you guys to, if you're not subscribed, I'm going to encourage you to subscribe. And the best thing you can actually do, this is your thank you to me, is send it to all your friends. Okay, just like Anne's going to have it sent to all of her people in the database. I'm asking of you to send it to all of your agent homies in your database to say, hey, you got to follow this dude. Okay, my goal next year is to absolutely blow up. And I can't do that without you guys. Okay, which I'm beyond grateful to all of you. Okay, other questions? Good.
Yeah, hey, Robert. Do you guys like my database? So that would include, like, say, old people, old colleagues I used to work with in a different sector, and it would be people, old buyers I took out and showed properties to, and nothing transpired. So it would just be all those people. And I think you mentioned like limit to 100, the 100 best.
No, don't limit it to anybody. You call everybody. Anybody that knows the clan, you're going to put them into that database. Even if it's somebody you worked with 27 years ago over at ABC Warehouse, give them a call.
Okay.
Okay, and in that, here we go. Okay, that's what I do. Declan, hey, this is right minute for me. The reason I'm calling is I'm excited because I've actually been doing real estate now for the last 2, 3, 5 years, and I'm now doing real estate full time. I also wanted to see if I could get your permission to check in with you 3 to 4 times a year to give you some real estate updates. Would that be okay with you? Yeah, I didn't know you were doing real estate. Wow, that's awesome. That's great to hear. What's the best number for me to reach you? I'll check in with you from time to time. Okay, what's your email? Send you some information. Let me confirm your mailing address. Now that I have you on the line, who do you know that's looking to buy, sell, or invest that I can be of help to? Reconnect.
Perfect. Okay.
And then and then Declan, do me a favor, go on Facebook, send me a DM there, so that I can go ahead and get them sent over to you. Because once I turn this thing off, I don't get to save the messages.
Okay.
So I have a question, Robert.
Mhm.
Should we text them and say, hey, is it a good time for a few minutes? Or we don't text that first before pick up the phone?
I don't know. No, because what you're doing is you are setting yourself up for failure. Okay. Because what's going to happen is they're going to sit there and say, Ann, I don't have time, but text me. And now you're trying to have this engaged conversation via text. Okay. We don't want that. We're trying to avoid that. Okay. So in that particular case, I'm going to say absolutely not.
All right. Thank you.
Welcome. Other questions? We got a few minutes left. Again, don't forget, we got Wednesday and Thursday, so we're going to wrap this thing up. Make sure you guys ask me questions so we can address this. Another thing I want to do is invite you guys here real quickly to later today. We're going to go over again. I'm going to do once a month, Stump the Coach. Next month, I'm going to be introducing Prospect with a Coach. How many of you guys want to see me prospect?
Yes.
Okay, cool. You guys have to come join me. I'm going to do that class next month. I'm going to do 1 hour a week. You get the opportunity to prospect with me. Okay. So you're going to see me fumble. You're going to see me get cussed out. You're going to see me go through all of the innocence, these things, but I'm going to prospect. Okay. So I have a huge commitment to my girlfriend. I told her that I'm going to be taking her to Cuba this year, and you guys are going to be holding me accountable to go to Cuba. Okay. So that's your guys' responsibility. My job is to perform. Okay. That's how I work. All right.
So, Robert, this afternoon is 12 o'clock on the Zoom or in your YouTube channel?
It's going to be here on Zoom. Okay. It's going to be
Zoom.
on Zoom. Yeah. And then I'll stream it also on Facebook. Okay. But you guys got to come join me on Zoom because it's an interactive class. Without interaction, it defeats the purpose of the class because I want you to bring me all of your guys' objections. We're going to work on objections.
Do you give us the opportunity to practice this a little bit? Because
Yeah.
what I found is that no matter how much I watch, transcribe, but by the time I use it, I have a hair gap of response, not fast enough, and they hang up. So that is where I identify is my challenge.
Yeah. And you bring up a good point. Here's the thing is that what I ask of you, okay, that I've been asking of you guys from day one, okay, you have to go through and it's the implementation. As I've shared with you guys before, 1 hour of implementation is way more powerful than 1,000 hours of intention. Let me repeat that. 1 hour of it is way more impactful than 1,000 hours of intention. Let that sink in. If I do 1 hour and I go through and I prospect and I only get a hold of 3 people, 2 people cuss me out and one person said, I'm just not interested. Did I get better? I did. And why did I get better? Because I'm building the courage. Number one. Number two is why did the person hang up on me? Let me go back and listen to it. Go back and listen to it. And by the way, as Mike Ferry tells us, you got to get a glass of wine so you can listen to yourself. Okay. Because you go back and you listen to yourself, you listen to the recording and you go through, hi, Mr. Johnson. Yeah. Hey, hi, Mr. Johnson. Click. Oh my God.
Describe me, Robert. You describe me because the minute I hang up, I know, dang it, how come I say that?
Yeah. And see, that's the part we get better. My point is you have to get better versus 1,000 hours of preparation. We go through and we prepare and we prepare and we're going to get started. We're going to ready. We're going to aim. We're going to, you know what? I'm not ready yet. Hold on. Let me backtrack. Okay. But you never fire. So it's important we understand this. Okay. In this, going back to with what Ann brought to the table, you have to go and record yourself. You have to go through and look at with what you did today and improve on it tomorrow. And how do you improve on it tomorrow? Well, you practice it. You write down bring me a buyer. I didn't know what to say. I got stumped. Person said, bring me a buyer. I said, okay. And I hung up. That's not a great objection handler. Or the person says, hey, you know what? I have a friend in the business. Oh, well, good luck. That's not a great objection handler. Let's work on that today at 12 o'clock. Okay, so I'm going to encourage you guys to come join. Let's take a look. Any questions, comments, concerns, anything?
I have a quick question. Can you hear me? So my question is, Robert, what are your thoughts on best practices for going back to the database of past clients and getting 5-star reviews or video testimonials?
Yep. Yeah, that's great. The only problem with that, Chris, and I'm not going to say it's bad, okay? There's no value in that because the value is for you, okay?
Right.
So if you're going to do that, I have no problem. I'm not saying don't do it. I'm saying yes, do it. But don't make that be one of your 4 calls, okay?
Got it.
Make that be a call in addition to. If anything, what I would do I would do it in bite-sized pieces. And what I mean by bite-sized pieces, maybe you do it with 2 people a day, and then you just keep working on it. Okay, because
Right.
yes, absolutely. Google reviews, Yelp reviews, all of these other reviews are, of course, very vital and very important. Okay. Other questions, comments, concerns? Nope. Last but not least, let me give you guys this one. Okay, so we're going to go ahead and move on. You have to make these calls with high energy and high levels of enthusiasm. Okay. Those of you that know me on a personal level, I'm usually pretty drab. Okay. I'm usually kind of the quiet guy in the corner that's on his phone by himself. Okay. You guys see me at the events. I'm usually the dude that has his head down and just kind of whatever. I'm not proud of it. That's just the way I feel comfortable. But the moment that I'm in front of a seller, the moment that I'm on the phone, the moment that I'm in this type of position, I have to elevate my game. If I were to present to all of you the way that I normally do, okay, the way that I normally do, you guys would be bored. So we have to, when we're making calls, when we're in presentation mode, I would what I call is Realtor Rob. And as Realtor Rob, I have to be in a position where I create this alter ego. And I have to be a person that is really high excited energy and a lot of enthusiasm. Because if I'm going through, Joe, hey, what's going on, man? Well, yeah, just giving you a call. I just wanted to give you a little bit of an update with what's going on with the real estate market. You got a minute for me? Yeah. All right. Cool, man. Well, I appreciate that. Hey, well, I was calling you because of blah blah blah, and his response is going to be like, well, I don't know. Sure, I'll think about it. Thanks for the call. What's going to happen the next call? Yeah, I'm not going to take that guy's call. Okay. So we have to have high levels of energy and enthusiasm. It's really important that we actually, of course, understand that. All right. So last question. Anybody else? Anything else? Anyone else?
How to cut it if they get up telling the whole story that maybe take it like half an hour.
And you know what? I just realized that I have an 8 o'clock call that I have to go ahead and take care of. Let me do this. Let me give you a call back later today. Are you available after 5 o'clock? I got to get to this appointment here real quick. Did I answer your question? That's how we do it.
Okay. Thank you.
Or if I know I'm going to talk to somebody who blah, 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 I ask them, hey, how's your day? And then I get 45 minutes worth of how their day was. If I know that I'm talking to that person, we know those people. I'm actually going to preamp it. And what I'm going to do with that is I'm basically going to sit there and say, Ann, hey, it's Robert. I have a few minutes. I wanted to call you before my appointment walks in. I was thinking about you. I wanted to see if I can share with you. I have about 3 minutes. Is it okay if I borrow you for those 3 minutes? Do you see what I'm doing? Okay. So okay. Now you have my inside secret. So if I do this to you, please don't take any offense to it. Okay. So, all right, everybody, it's time. I always, of course, want to be respectful to everyone's time. I always want to finish on time, start on time. Thank you guys for being here. Continue helping me grow this audience. Again, my goal is ultimately to blow this thing up next year. Okay. I want to have 100 people in attendance. I think we've gotten to about 37, 40 people right in that window. But my goal is to get at least 100 people every single day. I need your help though. Okay. So make sure you guys subscribe to YouTube. Send a video to all of your real estate friends. Make sure you're inviting people. Hey, you got to see this dude because this guy knows what he's talking about. Again, I've been in the trenches. I don't coach out of a book. I coach out of experience. There's a difference. Okay, you guys have to understand that. All right, thank you guys so much. I really appreciate it. I'll see you guys later today at 12 o'clock. Go get an appointment or 5. Have a great day. See you guys
Thank
soon.
you.
Bye bye.
Thank you.